Hi, welcome to NSKN Game Small Talk, and this is episode 2. And today there is with me here
Błażej.
And I'm Kuba. Great to see you again. There is more of you than there were last time when we did it, but let's just make it quick and let's get to the news. So, the news. First of all, thank you very much for your support when it comes to Chronicles of Midgard campaign, which has already ended, and we are absolutely astonished by how many of you have actually backed it. And Błażej, who's the author of the game, can tell you when the game is going to be delivered to you.
So, the game is going to be delivered to you between April and June 2018, that's next year. The project has ended, and for all of you who have missed it, there is a bit of good news because we have opened pre-orders, so you can still get the game directly from us, and they should be open for a good few weeks still. So if you've missed it, you can still get a copy.
Yeah, so the news is that you can actually pre-order Chronicles of Frost and enjoy the game when it comes out, and it is a really good game. Second news, which when talking about Kickstarter, is that I don't know if you've heard about the game Nemezis. It's an absolutely astonishing game about surviving on a very lone spaceship.
Oh yes, it's the kind of a thing that
like if you like Alien movies, for example, you need to play this game, you need to have this game. It will be published by Awaken Realms on Kickstarter, and it's done by Adam Kopinski, who is the author of Lords of Hellas, their previous game, and it's scary.
It is, and it's pretty amazing because it really feels like the movies, although it evokes the atmosphere of not only Alien movies, but every other space isolation story you've ever heard of. It has a lot of tropes, it has amazing gameplay, and yeah, it's definitely worth it.
And of course the arts are great, because if you know Awaken Realms games, they do those amazing miniatures, and they're really, really good. You have the miniatures of those alien creatures that stalk around the ship. You have miniatures of your like characters, like medic or marine or captain or whoever. And yeah, I mean, you should be looking forward to seeing that on Kickstarter, because this is gonna be massive.
This is gonna be massive.
Third thing we wanted to tell you about is a game called, try to say that the first time correctly, Teotihuacan. That's easy, absolutely. That's easy peasy. That's a game by David.
It's a game
by David.
No,
it's not a game by David Turci. We're gonna tell you about a game by David Turci in a second.
Yes.
This is a game by Daniele Tascini,
who you might know from games such as Marco Polo
or Tolkien. And this game is actually set in Tolkien's universe, and we are more than proud to present it to you. It will premiere in around October next year, so around Essen. We really do hope that the American premiere should happen at roughly the same time. And it's a very witty game with dice placement, with
Maybe we should start by a very simple thing for some of you who might not know. This is a deep and heavy Euro game with lots and lots of things to do. The basic mechanism is indeed that you receive a number of dice, who are your workers, but you don't roll them. The numbers on the dice show how experienced they are, and you move them around a centerpiece of the board. It's surrounded by modular pieces. Each of them has a different action. Every time you take the action, you can also you can take an action that will upgrade your die, or you can take an action that will not upgrade your die. And both of these things are good because more powerful dice are really cool. But the moment they reach 6 and you have to upgrade them again, they are retired.
I say it's rather sacrificed.
Something like cutting out the heart. Never mind. We don't know. We
haven't been there, and we don't really want to.
We're told they go to a farm. So
yeah, and this is you've got like plenty of different things to do, plenty of different ways of gathering your points, plenty of different strategies to try and win the game. The game is has got pretty Well, not very complex rules. They're
No.
not simple.
No, the rules are not complex, but the game is really meaty when it comes to decisions. It's like, if you like the games which really require you to, you know, stretch your grey matter, that's gonna be something for you.
Yeah. So we will be telling you more and more about Teotihuacan, and it's going to be a great game, and we're really happy that you'll be able to play it sooner or later. Okay, next thing, David Turci. Once again, sorry David for mixing you up with Teotihuacan, although I think it's a compliment. And David Turci, in the last episode we showed you the cover of Dice Settlers, a game with dice back building and like terrain exploration, area control, technology tree, and
Can you feel the theme of games a lot is going on in this one? Is another one of those, because you know you get to build you get to build the land, you get to build your back. Yeah, you get to get technologies. You can actually develop technologies which will allow you to do cool things. Lots of going on. I'm sorry, you know.
No. I just wanted to say that the Miko, Mihailo Dmitrievsky, is already sending us bits and pieces of his art, and I will not show it to you yet today, but we're getting there.
You'll see it in due time, and it's looking good. If you have a problem remembering, this is the person who illustrated all of the Valyria games, for example, and
the Riders of the North Sea.
And Raiders of the North Sea. So very distinct style, very beautiful, colorful, vivid images he creates, and he really creates those vivid worlds for the games he illustrates. And it's the same thing with Dice Settlers.
Absolutely. So Miko is working on it, and I hope that in the next episode, and maybe in 2 episodes, we'll be able to show you actual illustrations. And last but not least, sleeves.
Oh yes.
So as you know, we did the Paladin campaign. Was it in?
It was this year, right?
Yeah, it was mid-year, and we're still getting those sleeves to you. I mean, 1,400 of our backers have already gotten their sleeves, but there are still 600 backers in North America, in US and Canada, who are still waiting for their sleeves. And the good news is that well, our fulfillment center in Oregon is already getting their sleeves this week. So you guys will be getting them in the next week or 2. And we are really happy that this is happening, because first of all, these sleeves are great. Second of all, we just love getting great things to you, our backers. And third of all, but I think about the third theme, we're gonna talk about that in the Talk of the Week.
Oh yes.
Okay, so we're in Talk of the Week, and today's Talk of the Week is second season of our Paladin Card Production Kickstarter campaign for the sleeves.
Yes. Paladin Season 2.
Yeah, and basically we were absolutely surprised by how happy you were to do it with us, and yet again we are more than thankful. But many people asked us if they could get more sleeves, so we thought, yeah, well, why not? All the backers either already got their sleeves or they are getting them. So we are starting on Wednesday, which is the 29th? 30th. It's the 30th. It's the 30th of October. We're starting the...
No, actually it's 29th.
Is it 29th?
Yes, Wednesday 29th. And before we go further, a little bit more on the topic of getting more sleeves, because many of you ask us when they will be available in stores. We are working on this and we want to bring them to you, so they will be available. But before that, since so many of you like the sleeves, we decided to launch the second campaign.
Yep. And we're gonna have more good for you, because in the first campaign we got to 17 different kinds.
Yes, we got to 17 types of sleeves.
Yeah.
And that included some very funky sizes. More on that in a moment. The new campaign that is coming is going to include all of the 17 types we already had in the previous campaign. Some of them joined the roster via stretch goals. So, if you want more sleeves for your Gloomhavens, your Kingdom Death monsters, your rising suns, and so on, this is the place to come and get them, because we will have them, we will have more. Kingdom Death Monster, I think some of you will be getting it until 2020, so if you need more sleeves, we will have more sleeves. But apart from that, we will also start right off the bat with a new type of sleeve. And this is going to be the double matte sleeve, so it's matte on the front, it's matte on the back, and it's going to have a colored back. And there are 5 colors that will come with the game. There's going to be pure white, there's going to be sky blue, there's going to be fiery red, there's going to be hell pit black, and there's going to be vivid green. So
green, yeah, I play with green, so I will get the green ones.
Definitely. So we're coming with this, but there is one more thing that we want to talk about, and it's we've heard a lot from people who play games like Arkham Horror, Eldritch Horror, and Talisman.
Relic?
Relic, yes,
yeah,
of
Relic.
course. So there were questions about cards, about sleeves that could fit the character cards and the Ancient One cards and the Investigator cards. And the truth is, we'd want to know how much you like them and if you want them. So I'm not saying that we're gonna start off with them, but it's quite possible that they will be available at the campaign, but it kind of depends on you. And that's gonna be the theme of the second campaign a little bit. We're gonna be listening to what you tell us, trying to find the sleeves that you need to add to our already 17 existing sizes, because the cards I mentioned, the double matte ones, will be CCG size. So again, if you want to sleeve your LCGs, if you want to sleeve your Star Wars Destiny, if you want to sleeve your Magic the Gathering, this is the size of cards.
Yeah, so to sum it up, new colored back sleeves, and possibly if you want them, if you like them, we will have those large sleeves that will allow you to sleeve your character cards from Talisman, Relic, and the Ancient Ones, and Investigators from the Cthulhu games. So
plus again the absurdly large sleeves, which you need to sleeve all of the element of Kingdom Death Monster.
yeah, so this campaign starts on Wednesday and it will end on Thursday, 21st of December.
Yes, 21st of December, so there is a little bit of time. Who knows what type of sleeves will still be added to what we already have.
Yeah, and if you want to know more about quality of our sleeves, well, Tom Bass and his daughters tried it out during the previous campaign, so if you look beneath this movie...
Yeah, we're gonna link it in the doobly-doo.
In the doobly-doo?
Doobly-doo, yes, that's a new word I learned. Apparently you have 2 things on YouTube. The thing where you put the description is called the doobly-doo, and then the comment section is called the blah-blah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So it will be in doobly-doo, but you can you're more than invited to write something in the blah blah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, I think that's pretty much all about Talk of the Week and our Paladin Season 2 campaign. So now we're gonna tell you more about great games we played.
Oh yeah.
Well, great games we played. We played many great games, but in this section of our vidcast, we want to talk more about the games that we really enjoyed and we played lately. And I will start with something that is, that's actually been on the market for quite a long time, but I've played a very special game of this, and this is Tokaido. And Tokaido is a game that I played for the first time probably like 4 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. And I don't know, for the past 2 years it just stayed on the shelf, and we never touched it because we played all these new games. And my daughter, who is 6, just a couple days ago asked me, "Daddy, what is this game?" And I thought, well, she's 6, so maybe I could try and show it to her. So 3 games later, she was asking me, for more, and 3 games in a row.
3 games in a row?
Yeah, I never
okay.
played 2 games in a row on the same night, but this was an exception for my daughter. She loved it, and I have to tell you guys that this is a great game to play with kids. It's very straightforward, it's got pretty simple rules, it plays fast, and you can play 3 games in a row and do not die of boredom, which I didn't. And my daughter, my 6-year-old, absolutely adored it. So I already got an expansion, and we're gonna try an expansion soon. the Crossroads expansion.
The Crossroads.
Yeah.
We have 2 expansions for Tokaido, but you know, Tokaido is a game about having a good time. You're going on a pleasure cruise, which is not really a cruise. It's more of a pleasure walkabout, but still, what's not to love?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Tokaido. I just want to say that out loud. It's a great game to play with your kids. So you played Champions of Midgard?
Yeah, actually, I played Champions of Midgard. It's again not a new game, but recently the 2 Kickstarter expansions arrived, and we managed to put them in the game, read the rules, and play Champions of Midgard. Now, Champions of Midgard has already been one of my favorite games of all time, but with the new expansions, believe it or not, it's even better. The Valhalla expansion specifically adds something that is really, really awesome, because it adds a mechanism that actually allows you to gain stuff when you're rolling terribly, which happens from time to time. Now, for those of you who didn't play Champions of Midgard, in the game one of the important mechanisms is that you gather warriors, and those warriors are actually dice, custom dice. Whenever you go to fight a monster, you roll those dice. So, you know, when you play the game, what you want to do is you want to have a lot of them. When you go to fight a monster, you'll lose some of them, and so on. Now, the Valhalla expansion introduces what is called the sacrifice tokens, which you get every time one of your fighters, one of your warriors dies. And that is absolutely amazing, because those sacrifice tokens can then be traded in for some special boons for the Valkyrie cards. So one of the biggest problems to some people with the game has been solved. I mean, I didn't have a problem with that. I just felt this was the nature of the game. But this, plus the Mountains expansion, which gives you more monsters to hunt, more journeys to take, takes the game to a whole new level. It's been incredibly enjoyable, and we're gonna play the game again soon.
Cool. I mean, it sounds like fun. I've also played lately Katarenga. It's a new game from Hutch, and they did like Kamisada, which is like a 2-player abstract game, and Katarenga is in the same field. I mean, it's a 2-player abstract game. This one is a variation on chess. You have like colored chessboard and pawns only on one side, and then the opponent has the 8 pawns on the other side of the board. And whenever you move a pawn, you move it into a field that is colored, and from now on, this pawn will be able to move like one of the chess figures. So, for example, if you stay on this field, this pawn will from now on move like a rook. Yeah, a rook.
A rook.
Rook?
Yeah, a rook.
All right. Then
that's the little tower from
chess,
right?
Yeah. Here, you know, you will be able to move like a knight. But then when you move like a knight, you land on a field that lets you move like a king, and so on, so on, so on.
So it's a variant of chess then.
It is a variant of chess, but it's really witty, it's really fast, and it's. I love 2-player abstract games. My wife, who plays a lot with me, she's also fond of them. And so I put her on the table and told her. No, she's not. So I put her on the table and I told her, well, honey, I really want to try this new SN game, and it's a 2-player abstract game, so just, you know, play with me. It will take us 15 minutes. I will beat you badly, but, you know, no worries. We're gonna play Castles of Burgundy next, and you will beat me. And of
she
course,
creamed you, didn't she?
Oh my god. She destroyed me. She absolutely destroyed me. I mean, what can I say? Girl power, yeah. She was great, and we both loved the game. So if you have a chance to play Katarenga, please do play it.
Now, on the topic of drier games, Nusfjord. Nusfjord is one of the games.
Uvers. Yeah, that's Uwe Rosenberg.
Uwe Rosenberg. Nusfjord is about fishing and about handing out fish to different people, and it's about building buildings, and it's about getting new ships and fishing more, and it's about getting some other resources. It's also about having shares of your fishing company, which you can sell to other players, or you can put them on the market and buy them yourself. Honestly, we played it for the first time a couple of weeks ago. Now I played it again. It's a solid, interesting game. although it looks very, very complex when you take a look at the rulebook.
Can you compare it to one of the previous Uber's games?
I think in a way it's similar to Glass Road.
Alright.
In the sense that you also, in Nusfjord, you also get a big bunch of buildings, and that's something that probably makes the game a bit, the learning curve a bit steep, because you start the game and you have, if I remember correctly, 15 buildings.
Alright.
Each of them does something different, they come from a much bigger pool, and what you want to gear your game towards is that in the beginning you're buying buildings that allow you to do extra stuff, and later on you're going to be buying buildings that will score you a lot of points. So it's probably good, I mean, you will do better the second time you play the game, usually, because you will already know this specific dynamics. And this is, by the way, why I think it's similar to Glass Road. Glass Road had a similar dynamics, although Nusfjord does not have the very funky resource management wheel. There are fewer resources, but the game is a bit more focused on other aspects of that.
And it's 1 to 4, 1 to 5 players, something like that,
It's 1 to 5 players,
1 to 5.
I think.
So there is a solo mode. One more game I played this week and I loved it. It's called Sanctuary, the Endangered Species, and it's a game published by Cube Factory of Ideas by Przemek Wojtkowiak from Poland. And this is, I mean, can you imagine innovation in worker placement? Because I couldn't, and this guy put some innovation in worker placement, because during the game, depending on how many players you have, and you can play from 2 to 4, you have your 2 workers, and you have a row of cards, which is like from 10 to 14, for example. And when you place your worker on one of these cards, you will be entitled to do the top main action of this card. But then your worker can also see bottoms of the cards that are, the size of him. And he can see only as far as the end of the row or some other workers. So basically, you will place your worker and do this main action plus some sub-actions that are on the bottoms of the cards. And he will do as many of them as he can see. And basically, you have from 4 to 6 rounds, depending on how many players you play. So you could say that, well, it's only 8 to 12 actions, but not really, because you will decide and the other players will decide how many actions you will get.
So there's like this spatial aspect. You put your worker on a card, the worker looks around, and that's the action you can take. That sounds pretty cool.
Plus the top actions are usually more powerful, so you want to pick the card that will give you stuff to do, but then on the other hand, you want to also see bottoms of other cards that allow you to do stuff. It's a great game. It plays fast, it's replayable, it has great theme because you're basically saving endangered species and putting them in your farm or something where you're helping them and feeding them and so on.
I do hope it's not the same farm that the Teotihuacan workers are sent to.
No. That's a happy farm. That's a happy farm. Yeah, that's not the sad, solemn and quiet farm.
And talking about sad and solemn places, Shadespire. Shadespire is my third game of the week. Shadespire is the name of a city in the
That's by Games Workshop, right?
Oh yes, in the Warhammer Age of Sigmar universe by Games Workshop. And it's also the name of the game. It's called Warhammer Underworld's Shadespire, which is really a mouthful, but the game is truly awesome. It's a 30-minute tactical game of small squad combat on a kind of modular board, although not that much. It's amazing fun. I mean, it's 30 minutes of tactical gaming. When you say Games Workshop, everybody thinks about Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k and 3-hour-long games with many miniatures.
Or about Aldorf.
Yeah, Aldorf, that's also possible. This one is a 30-minute game on a small board, and it also, apart from having a very small squad of between 3 and 7 miniatures, between 3 and 7 fighters, you also get 2 decks of cards which you get to build before the game. So there is a little bit of the...
So it's like a skirmish game, you just play to finish off your opponents?
No, actually one of those decks is an objective deck, and you do get points for finishing off your opponents, but there are many more points to gain, to be gained from the objectives. And again, you build yourself your objective deck. You use some of the objectives specific to your factions and some objectives that are general, but the way you build your objective deck basically creates a little bit what you want to do during the game. And the game is really short in a way, because you will perform a total of 12 actions. Now the other deck has ploys, which are cards you can play immediately to change something on the board. It also has upgrades, cards that you can play to that you can assign to specific fighters, but only if you already gained some glory.
So it sounds a bit like Tashkalar with miniatures?
A little bit, although it also has dice, so that's another thing. Some of you will like that, some of you won't like that, because sometimes the best laid plan will fall flat because the dice didn't go your way. On the other hand, when you get used to that you have to make a plan and then make a plan B. What happens if it goes really, you know, wrong, then that becomes an element of the game. And again, the first time you play it, it'll probably take something like 45 minutes, but then every game will be, I don't know, about 30, maybe even shorter, which is really great, because if you go into a game and the dice really don't go your way, it's like watching a bad episode of Friends, you know, together with the ads.
There are no bad episodes of Friends.
I mean, some of them are. Friends is a great show. You sit down to watch it on TV, you know, you get ads, so that takes about 30 minutes. And sometimes, like, they
okay,
like
sometimes you have an
seasons.
episode that is not splendid.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you sit down, you sit through it. It's like that. You just get like sitting through a not splendid episodes of Friends, and if you know it's a rerun, so you usually get another one right afterwards. It's just 30 minutes of your life, where you know you might feel that didn't go your way, but the next time it can.
Shadespire sounds good.
Oh yes.
I think that's all the games, all the great games we want to talk to you about, and now we're going to the Hidden Peril.
Oh yeah.
Hidden Peril. Hidden Peril is this part of our episode when we try to bring, you know, some spotlight on a game that maybe not everybody heard of, and that is maybe, well, I don't know, not that well known, but we believe it's absolutely fantastic. And this week's Hidden Peril is
Brewcrafters.
Yeah, Brewcrafters travel card game. This is a small box, you could tell a micro game, and it's about brewing beer. And well, this is a game for 2 players that takes not much space on the table. I think we could fit basically here, and it's actually from 2 to 4, but I prefer to play with 2 players. And it's been published by Greater Than Games, Dice Hate Me Games, and distributed by Board&Dice. And the Board&Dice guys introduced a small change of rules.
Yeah, a tiny rule that makes the game even better.
Because in this game you can either get cards or play cards. And at some point with the original rules you could think that playing cards in the beginning of the game and getting cards at the end of the game might be the most efficient strategy. But what the guys did, they introduced payment for playing the cards, and those equipment cards that you play might actually change a lot, but because you need money to play them, you'll have to do other stuff as brew beers, sell them, and so on and so on. So with this little rule, the game is an absolute peril. It looks great.
We went for a moment into a bit of detail, but maybe a slightly broader image. As we said, you do brew beer. You do 2 things in the game. As you build up your brewery, you get equipment and you get people to work for you. And as you build up your little tableau, you make better and better types of beer, which score you more and more points. And honestly, for a game that fits on a very small table, which I tried personally last time we played it in a sushi place with tiny tables, and it fit. For a game that fits on a tiny table and takes about 20 minutes, there is a lot going on here, because it is a solid tableau builder. And for me, there are never enough solid tableau builders in the world of gaming.
And the really cool thing is that you can brew ales, porters, like stouts, and so on and so on. So if you like beer, if you like, you know, talking about beer and drinking beer, it's a really great game, because it's fast. It introduces you into the theme, because in order to brew this, you need to have that much malt, that much hops, that much yeast, and so on and so on. It's witty. You can play it in teams. You can play it with 2 players, and it costs some petty money really. And playing Brewcrafter is a travel card game. I hope that if you get it, if you get to play it, it will bring you at least as much joy as it did to us, because we spent a couple of evenings playing this little thing and we absolutely loved it.
Yeah, and you know, you can simply take it anywhere. So, you know, props for Brewcrafters.
Yeah, it's a great hidden pearl.
So now, giveaway time?
Yeah, Dragon's Gate College giveaway, and so when we started this vlog 2 weeks ago, we had 43 subscribers. Now we have 212, which means that we have almost 5 times as many subscribers that we had in the beginning, which makes you guys absolutely fantastic, and many thanks to you.
Thank you.
So, as promised, we will have a copy of Dragon's Gate College for every 100 subscribers. As we have more than 200, we have 2 copies to give away. So, the lucky winners are
Matthew Dembski
and Olga Malsan. Congrats to you guys, and we really hope you're gonna enjoy the games. Just tell us when to ship it, and we're gonna ship it to you for free, of course. And for all of you who did not win, no worries. This show, NSKN Games Small Talk, will be aired every 2 weeks. And in the episode in the next 2 weeks, we're gonna have another contest, another giveaway. Just before Christmas, so stay with us and see you in the next episode. Bye!
No, before we go though, how do the people contact us?
Alright.
The lucky winners.
Yes, just the lucky winners should write us as office@nskn.net. Just write to us and we'll be more than happy to send you the game.
So congratulations guys, thank you very much and see you in 2 weeks.
See you, bye!